fragmentation and execution over intent. It is the coming to life of a renewed fiscal vision, one that is structured, credible, and built to endure. Your Excellency, Mr. President, this moment is inseparable from your leadership and the reform agenda you've courageously advanced, marked by constrained fiscal space, weakened investor confidence, and structural distortion, comprehensive reset of nation's economic and financial architecture. Through your decisive actions, Your Excellency restore macroeconomic credibility, unifying foreign exchange markets, clearing long-standing backlog, and reestablishing confidence in Nigeria's ability to operate a transparent and market-driven system. These were not easy decisions, but they were necessary. Building on this foundation, your administration undertook one of the most significant revenue reforms in Nigeria history. And to put that in perspective, the first tax law made in this country was done in 1903. That is 122 years ago. You changed that. Over 60 fragmented tax laws were streamlined into a simplified and more coherent framework, strengthening compliance, improving predictability, and enabling efficiency in administration. Crucially, this reform was not driven by higher tax burden, but by better system, broadening coverage, and stronger governance. The outcome speaks for itself, with Nigeria recording historic domestic revenue performance, demonstrating that discipline reform yield sustainable results. And to put this in perspective, Mr. President, 5 years ago, the total collection for Nigeria revenue was 6.8 trillion. And by 2025, Mr. President, you tripled that. You ended the year by 28.7 trillion. When I check your full year impact, which I call PBAT impact in 2024, you increased revenue by 76% compared to previous year. And that is, Mr. President, seeing that and beyond taxation, fiscal governance has been strengthened through improved remittance system, enhanced transparency, mechanically, when you assume office, the total money available for the Federation was 711 billion. By September 2025, it was 3.6 trillion. That is 400% above all allude to the fact that you've given them what no government in the history of Nigeria efficiency and strengthening revenue assurance. This 10 years before now, we've attempted 6 times to do national single window. Under 2 years, to be specific, March 27, in conjunction with custom, and the rest will launch national single window within 2 years under your able leadership. Thank you, Mr. President. In energy reforms, to a stabilizing anchor, isolated but coordinated transformation of a fiscal state. Mr. President, if you will permit me, that you've done, that has revitalized Nigeria economy. And with your permission, on your first day in office, you remove FIRS subsidy. And to put it in perspective, the removal of FIRS subsidy was not a policy choice, but it was a fiscal necessity. And I just want to put it in perspective. Mr. President, if you've not taken that courageous decision that day, I want to paint the picture of where we have been today. At price of $120 per barrel, our subsidy budget today will have been between 38 to 58 trillion. And people may not understand that figure. I want to put it in perspective. The total budget that we have, 68, is just for subsidy. If you've not removed it, that would be 76% of the total budget would have gone to the waste. Would have been $2 billion. Today, the net reserve is 34 billion, the highest in the history of Nigeria. If you've not taken that decision, Mr. President, our debt budget, and then you've had debt that we've had even before I was born, you can see that we would have been in 150% of the total budget. The second decision that you've taken, it is unification. Exchange rate will still be within 460 to 700, depending. And the parallel market, depending, to 1.5 in the last, very stable, and for the first time in the last 10 years so far. The external reserves today is 34 billion. If you've not done anything, we'll be under 2 billion. And inflation will have been around 20%. Because if you just extrapolate that, and then today, inflation is unprecedented at this time. If you've not taken that decision, Mr. President, petrol supply security today will have joined the queue. Not only that it will be expensive, it will not still be available. Today, we have to. Now, I said Nigeria pump price today, so I come with the data, because I know what are listening. I don't want to give the word. There are people. Mr. President, is $1.70, which is 22% higher. In India, is 25% higher. In South Africa, is 35% higher. And if you do global, today, Mr. President, we are 50% lower than the price. This is just because you allow local refineries to work. And to put it in perspective, before you clap, I'm a student of economics. I read political philosophy in the history of the world. I don't know if anybody here can tell me where we've sold to his innovation. I remember vividly on that Sunday when you called me and you said, Zach, put your pen and your notes. Go and do this. You make impossible possible. We don't know you've seen the future. Thank you, Mr. President, that we don't have queue today. We don't have the queue today, and then we have availability. Not only that we have it, just recently I read, Aliko supplies 17 cargoes to help other African countries, from net importer to net exporter. Mr. President, thank you for your courage. This is indeed what translates reform into measurable outcome that reposition a nation, not for the present, but for the future. Your Excellency, if I may say, only a leader with clarity of purpose, courage of conviction, and commitment to long-term national interest can drive change at this scale. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to pause for a moment. May I respectfully of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Your Excellency, have your seat. Thank you. Your Excellency, if I may say, without any fear of contradiction, thank you, Mr. President. This headquarters stands today as one of the tangible expressions of that reform journey, a feasible, enduring symbol that reform is not abstract but real, not temporary but structural, not theoretical but implemented. It is also important to recognize that this achievement has come through a demanding and often complex journey. Tax reform is not always elegant at inception. It is technical, contested, and requires sustained alignment across institutions. It demands discipline, patience, and resilience. Yet, through persistence and clarity of direction, what once appeared difficult has produced something coherent, structured, and lasting national value. Today, we celebrate this as a success story, a defining milestone in Nigeria's fiscal transformation. Permit me to express my sincere appreciation to Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, who is unavoidably absent attending to national call at the Washington, my boss, my papa, whose guidance, intellectual leadership, and unwavering commitment have been instrumental in shaping both the direction and execution of this reform. Additionally, the Honorable Minister of State for Finance, Mr. Taiwo Edele, who led the reform we see today. Your stewardship has provided both clarity and momentum, and we are deeply grateful for the technical acumen that you channel to deliver on groundbreaking reform before us. Thank you. My appreciation goes to our supervising committee, and by extension to the Speaker and my papa, the Senate President. Thank you for accommodating me. Thank you for treating me as a son. Thank you for all you've done for me. And thank you, Senator 313 and my Egbon, James Falike, for accepting me not returning those calls. Thank you. I'm grateful for your legislative guidance. Thank you, thank you. I also extend my appreciation to all ministry, departments, and agencies such as Ministry of FCT. Like Daddy said when we came, we've now received the certificate of occupancy of this place, but by God's grace, before we leave here. Ministry of Works. But Mr. President, I need to call out one DG, Bureau of Public Procurement. Mr. President, considering that this project started 22 years ago, you can imagine the number of cost overrun, but because of innovation and brilliance and understanding the new hope agenda of Mr. President, the DG has really helped. The only extension I have, sir, is that the only extension I will have, sir, is that if you would direct him that he should do the sampling. Because if you go around and you see this abandoned project, we've wasted capital, we've wasted value, but because of the limitation of the law in those days, they are still stored. All the money we spent wasted. The same thing he has done for us in Nigeria Revenue Service. If he can extend it to all other abandoned projects, Mr. President, we will have a lot. So, DG, I'm so grateful for your help that you've done for us. And so many others whose collaboration and guidance have contributed to this defining moment. Institutional transformation at this scale is never the work of one entity alone. It is the product of alignment, partnership, and shared national purpose. To our contractors and consultants, the CCECC, Stratford Hill, Baron Architecture, A.T. Onaide, and others, I commend your professionalism and commitment to excellence. You are entrusted not only with delivering a structure, but with delivering a standard. What stands before us today reflects that standard, one of precision, quality, and institutional dignity. To my colleagues of Nigeria Revenue Service, especially my predecessor here present, and those who could not make it, this moment belongs to you. You represent a dedicated and forward-looking team who have carried the weight of reform with discipline, professionalism, and resolve. Through transition, through pressure, and through heightened expectation, you have remained committed to building a service that reflects the aspiration of our nation. This headquarters is both a recognition of your effort and a platform for even greater performance. On a personal note, I stand here deeply grateful to God for the privilege of service and for the opportunity to witness the completion of the project of this magnitude. I am grateful to His Excellency the President for the opportunity, trust, and confidence you repose in me. Thank you, Mr. President. And also to my lovely wife for giving me domestic peace that allowed me to focus on my job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And to my advisor, Mr. President, chief of them is my chief of staff, Mr. Tayo Kolioso. Thank you for always being the adult in the room. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President, most time when I come, there is someone that is always waiting for me. That now you come from that, where are the notes? My special advisor strategy, Tele. I cannot thank you enough. Your ability to convert my illegible handwriting to those implementable documents, thank you. Your ability to convert my crazy idea to part of what we see today, thank you. Thank you. And by extension to all others, 16 floors, 3 towers, and capacity to accommodate over 3,000 people is no small feat. But beyond its scale, what gives this moment meaning is what it represents. The delivery of an institution that will serve not just this generation, but many to come. As we commission this headquarters, we must recognize that this is not an endpoint, but a foundation. Its true value will be measured by the efficiency it enables, the transparency it enforces, and the service it improves, and the trust it builds between the Nigeria state and its citizens. It must stand as a center of excellence, a driver of innovation, and constant reminder that Nigerian institutions can function at the highest standard. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a defining moment in Nigeria's fiscal journey. It affirms that reform is possible, that institutions can be rebuilt, and that with the right leadership and discipline, Nigeria can deliver outcomes that are both credible and transformative. It is therefore my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the commissioning of the Nigeria Revenue Service Headquarters, a symbol of reform, a monument to institutional renewal, and beacon of hope for stronger, more disciplined, and more prosperous Nigeria. Thank you. May the Lord bless Mr. President, and may the Lord bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, may God bless Mr. President, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You may please be comfortably seated. Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, can we celebrate the Executive Chairman of the Nigeria Revenue Service, Dr. Zach Adedeji. Today, as we continue to celebrate such a remarkable moment. Thank you. Today, as we continue to celebrate reformative leadership, innovation, renewed hope, I want to particularly celebrate the chief reformer himself, a distinguished leader with an uncanny ability to fit round pegs in round holes. Please celebrate Mr. President, His Excellency, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Thank you. We have many round pegs and round holes today, many of whom are sat here, but particularly Dr. Zach Adedeji. Thank you for that powerful welcome address today. Thank you. Mr. President, other excellencies present, it is my pleasure at this point to invite on stage the Special Advisor to the Executive Chairman on Infrastructure and Group Director, Support Services Group, Mr. Kunle Ogidi, to talk us through this magnificent world-class edifice that we are sat in. A round of applause for him. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please permit me to stand on the already established protocols. Today, this very historical day, we are not just here to experience a project, but the visual representation of your vision. And undoubtedly, a very powerful, tangible outcome of your reform-driven and courageous leadership. Your Excellency, Mr. President, there is a lot to show. There is a lot to talk about. There is a lot that is embedded in this edifice. It is indeed the pride of every Nigerian, and especially a blessing to generations yet unborn. May I kindly and respectfully seek your permission to present this short video. Your Excellency, sir.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, today we stand before more than a building. We stand before a clear testament to your vision and a defining force of your renewed hope agenda. This edifice is a direct outcome of your far-reaching reforms. Your decisive efforts in repositioning the Nigerian Revenue Service have not only strengthened an institution, but have also significantly expanded Nigeria's operational and technological frontiers. Because of your leadership, over 3,000 employment opportunities have been created across critical areas such as digital systems and compliance within the Nigerian Revenue Service, demonstrating that your reforms are not merely structural, but deeply human, driving inclusion, productivity, and national growth. For the records, for more than a decade, this project remained a mere aspiration, stalled, incomplete, and perhaps uncertain, like very many other public projects. But under your leadership, aspiration gave way to action. Your executive chairman, Dr. Zach Adedeji, translated your mandate for discipline and urgency into tangible results. He led the completion of this project with a remarkable focus. Despite a significant expansion in the original scope of the contract, this long-delayed and long-awaited national monument was delivered in just 13 months. This is absolutely remarkable. What we are witnessing today, therefore, is not merely the completion of a building that runs on 14 elevators and 2 escalators. sitting on 26,000 square meters with 11 floors, multi-level car parks, which also boasts of a 600-seater capacity auditorium and a 104-seater boardroom. Rather, what we are witnessing today is the triumph of execution over years of delay and of courageous leadership over conformity. This headquarters now stands as a strategic engine for the future of revenue administration in Nigeria. It exudes modernity, capacity, technology, functionality, and of course, purpose within a single integrated environment. Your Excellency, Mr. President, in alignment with your forward-looking 2023 policy direction on CNG adoption and alternative energy transition agenda, our 6 megawatt CNG plants represent a decisive shift towards a cleaner, more cost-effective energy solution, delivering significant annual savings of about 8 billion naira to the nation, whilst reducing our carbon footprint by over 4,000 tons per annum. From its advanced data infrastructure to its modern library, this facility is designed to serve as a research hub, promoting knowledge incubation, informed policy engagement, innovations, and cross-fertilization of cerebral ideas. With numerous facilities, including a gymnasium, a crèche of working families, recreation centers, and places of worship, which includes a mosque and a chapel. This complex evokes a people-centered philosophy that promotes the well-being, the dignity, and productivity of the Nigerian public servants within a serene and green environment. As a matter of fact, the green area is just a little less than 20% of the total built-up area. This is in tandem with global best practices of modern compact cities. Your Excellency, your presence here today reinforces a fundamental truth that with clear leadership and disciplined implementation, public institutions can deliver outcomes that are both meaningful and enduring. This edifice, therefore, stands as a symbol of that truth and of the confidence that your courageous leadership continues to inspire across our institutions. Indeed, where there is a will, there is a way. May posterity be eternally kind to you.
Distinguished personalities, if that round of applause is for me, that's okay. But if you are clapping to appreciate the Commander-in-Chief, please put your hands together and do better. Thank you. Your Excellency, Mr. President, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. Less is more. It is a profound honor to once again welcome you to this monumental edifice that underpins your courageous leadership and the instrumentality of your choice of giving us your son, Dr. Zach Adedeji, as the Executive Chairman of Nigeria Revenue Service, who has demonstrated the capacity to incubate and translate your ideas into tangible outcomes. And on this note, I want to welcome you once again to this monumental edifice. Thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Indeed, may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much. You know, when they say that a picture says 1,000 words, that video definitely said 1,000,000 words and more. It was so beautiful to see the trajectory and now the completion of what started long before I was born. Don't try to guess my age. But it's so beautiful to see that completion and the success story that we all celebrate today. Indeed, it is a celebratory day. And as we continue in this epoch-making event, we will take a few goodwill messages. First on that list, we have a representative from a company that has been part of Nigeria's infrastructure story for many decades. I'm therefore delighted to invite on stage the Managing Director of CCECC Nigeria, Mr. Wan Shuai. A round of applause for him, please. Thank you.
Your Excellency, our President, Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the Senate President, the Right Honorable Speaker, and their Excellencies, all the governors, the honorable ministers, all the distinguished guests. Oh, of course, let me mention our chairman, the executive chairman of NIS, Dr. Zach Adediji. Please permit me not to mention all your names. It's my honor to be here to join Your Excellency and the other distinguished guests to celebrate this remarkable milestone of the commissioning of the NIS headquarters. Your Excellency, please allow me to express my sincere appreciation to the entire project team, including CCECC, other partners, the consultant, supervision team, and the management team of NIS, who are all work together tirelessly day and night to make this vision a reality. Among this outstanding team, there's one individual I must mention in particular, the chairman, Dr. Zach Adediji, who is not known as a civil engineer, but as a financial engineer. The way he's working, he will never give you pressure to push on the speed of the project, but there's something I want to share. During the construction period, every Thursday morning, 9 o'clock, if you couldn't find him in the office, you can get here on site to find him. So, I would like to use this chance to thank him for his hard working and coordination. Without him, we couldn't complete this project in time. It's therefore no surprise that when it comes to tax reform, he could perform even better than the project. Because remember, he's a financial engineer. We just saw the presentation and the progress is made here, and this dedication is not limited to the chairman alone. It's not just a one-person drive. It's top-down influence from our leader, Mr. President. We all know that tax reform plays a very important role in the renewed hope agenda. And today, we are especially honored and blessed by the presence of our most distinguished guest, His Excellency, the ever-performing leader, our President. We know during the past about 10 days, His Excellency has visited Plateau State, Ogun State, Lagos, and Bayelsa states. Actually, there was always a question in my mind: what is the essence of the New Hope agenda? It's difficult to answer, actually. But when I was in Bayelsa witnessing His Excellency commissioning one of our projects, when I saw the infrastructure development and the people came together, welcome and follow His Excellency with the hope and the expectation on their faces, I think I got the answer. For further discussion, let me ask myself and everyone of you here another question: what defines a good leader? different people will give a different answer. But let's get back to what His Excellency has done. When I was a very young man, very young boy, I saw him use his vision, planning, and changing Lagos. And now, how he established a party and unite people together, and now looking at the policy of removing fuel subsidies, unifying the exchange rate, and the whole renewable agenda. All the progresses made are not easy. But he decided and insisted on doing them. Now, I think I can answer the question, which you will agree with me. A leader who dares to reform, who dares to change, who bring the country development and hope, that is truly great. And we are so lucky we have a great leader like that. We thank you, sir. Finally, Your Excellency, distinguished everyone, the completion of the NIS headquarters is not merely a delivery of a project. It stands as a powerful testament to the renewable agenda. It marks a new chapter in the nation's development under the leadership of our president. Let us remain united along with him to give the country a brighter future. God bless you, and God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wan Shuai, for your kind goodwill message this afternoon. Indeed, we celebrate Mr. President, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and now who we call the Reformer-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Thank you. Coming up next for another goodwill message is another round peg in a round hole. I have the honor of introducing and inviting on stage the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, OFR, who today is ably represented by the Honorable Minister of State for Finance. Please make welcome Dr. Taiwo Oyedele.
Your Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, other excellencies, honorable ministers, governors, taxpayers, tax collectors, ladies and gentlemen, I feel so delighted to be here today to see this dream come true. It is therefore with immense joy that I give this goodwill message today as we commission the landmark headquarters of the Nigeria Revenue Service. This is a major achievement in the fiscal and institutional journey for our country. This completed facility is not just a building. It is not just costs. It is investment. A physical expression of the fundamental shifts in how Nigeria is modernizing revenue administration. Like our tax system, the foundation of this edifice was laid many years ago. But today, thanks to the exceptional leadership of the Nigeria Revenue Service, led by my dear brother, Dr. Zach Adeliji, and his team, we have a unified, modern institutional structure. This mirrors this transformational progress we have seen in our tax system under the visionary leadership of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Before the reforms of this administration, Nigeria's fiscal system faces structural challenges, ranging from fragmented tax law, weak coordination, low tax to GDP ratio, and unsustainable debt service burden. Today, we are witnessing a different trajectory. Through decisive leadership, our reforms have strengthened revenue institutions, improved collections significantly, and laid the foundation for long-term fiscal sustainability. The transformation of the Federal Inland Revenue Service into the Nigeria Revenue Service is not just a name change. It reflects broader mandates, stronger governance, accountability, and repositioning for greater performance. Since the beginning of this reform, the FIRS, now Nigeria Revenue Service, has recorded historic revenue performance, demonstrating that when institutions are effectively led, properly structured, and empowered, outcomes multiply. One of the most important shifts we have made is moving from a fragmented system to a more coherent revenue architecture. This matters because investors value predictability, businesses need clarity, and government require efficiency. We cannot build a modern economy on outdated fiscal system. This new headquarters therefore symbolizes a modern, integrated, and technology-enabled revenue system designed not just for today, but for the future. But to the NRS, the expectation going forward is that the NRS will continue to deepen efficiency, strengthen compliance through trust and transparency, leverage technology to improve service delivery, and sustain strong revenue growth. As I close, I would like to commend the executive chairman of the NRS, his leadership team, and the entire workforce at the NRS, the contractor and partners who delivered this project, and all stakeholders who contributed to this milestone. This is a collective achievement for which we are deeply grateful and indeed very proud for the progress we are making, and most importantly, for the possibilities that lie ahead of us for our nation. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, this occasion sends a simple but profound message to all stakeholders that Nigeria's revenue institutions are now better structured and robustly built for sustained performance and service delivery to facilitate economic growth and strengthen fiscal stability. The Ministry of Finance is fully committed and ready to continue to provide policy and institutional support required for the Nigeria Revenue Service to deliver on its strategic mandate. With discipline, coordination, and commitment, we are confident that Nigeria's fiscal transformation will succeed. Finally, this is not cost, like I said. Empirical evidence shows that for every ₦1 or $1 that is invested in tax administration, return on investment is 10 times. That's 1,000%. With that in mind, I think we can now safely increase NRS revenue targets by a modest 100%. Congratulations, Nigeria Revenue Service. Congratulations, Mr. President. Congratulations, Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taiwo Oyedele. Indeed, congratulations to all of us. Now, for the penultimate goodwill message today, I have the honor of inviting on stage the Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives. Please let's make welcome Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, GCON. Please sustain the applause till he gets on stage. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our dear father, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, my dear brother, the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, the chairman of the Nigerian Progressive Governors Forum, honorable members and senators from the National Assembly, members of the Federal Executive Council, the executive chairman of Nigeria Revenue Service, and all members of staff of the Nigeria Revenue Service, taxpayers, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to deliver a short goodwill message at this commissioning of the Nigeria Revenue Service headquarters. Institutions reveal themselves not only through laws or leadership, but also through the system they sustain over time. This building invites a different kind of reflection. It is not simply about scale or design. It is about whether Nigeria now possesses the institutional discipline to convert authority into consistent outcomes. Before proceeding further, it is important to acknowledge the leadership that made this moment possible. The fiscal reform program initiated under our dear father, our leader, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, required not only technical clarity, but political courage. It required a willingness to confront structural weaknesses that had accumulated over time and to make decisions whose benefits will not be immediate, but whose necessity was clear. For many years, our revenue system struggled less from a lack of effort than from a lack of coherence. We operated multiple regimes, overlapping mandates, and fragmented legal frameworks. The result was predictable: high effort, low yield, and limited public confidence. What has changed under this administration is not only the policy direction, but also the underlying logic of the system. The reforms have sought to align rules, institutions, and incentives within a single framework. The 2025 Tax Reform Act represents that shift in its clearest form. They recognize the architecture within which revenue is generated, assessed, and enforced, and provided the basis for a more integrated system. The journey to this point was neither quick nor uncomplicated. The legislative process was extensive, at times difficult, and often accompanied by strong views from different segments of the economy. There were concerns about impact, debates about scope, and moments when public discourse was shaped more by apprehension than by detail. In the midst of this, the National Assembly remained steady. The House of Representatives, working with the Senate, engaged widely, interrogated the proposal rigorously, and insisted on clarity where it was required. We made deliberate choices, including protecting vulnerable groups and ensuring the reform did not impose undue pressure on low-income earners or small businesses. The objective was to produce a framework that is fair in design and sustainable in operation. To the Nigerian public, it is important to address the concerns that have accompanied this reform. Taxation is not an abstract concept. It affects daily life, enterprise, and opportunity. The intention of this new regime is not to increase hardship, but to improve structure. It seeks to broaden the base reduce leakages, and ensure that obligations are more evenly distributed. It is also designed to protect those at the lower end of the income scale while improving collection efficiency in areas where compliance has historically been weak. The emergence of the Nigeria Revenue Service must be understood within that context. It is not only a renamed institution, it is a repositioned one with a broader mandate and higher expectations. In this regard, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is appropriate to recognize the Executive Chairman, Mr. Zach Adedichi, and his team. The performance of the service in recent years has been notable. In 2025, collections exceeded target, reaching over 28 trillion with significant growth driven by non-oil revenues. This reflects not only improved systems, but also a shift towards voluntary compliance and a better coordination. The challenge now is to sustain and deepen that performance. This is particularly important when considering the scale of national expenditure. Nigeria's budget has expanded significantly, with projections exceeding 50 trillion naira and rising commitments to infrastructure, security, education, and social services. The gap between what the nation seeks to achieve and what it currently earns remains substantial. Bridging that gap through sustainable revenue is central to fiscal stability. The question, therefore, is not whether revenue must increase. It is how it increases. 3 issues will determine that outcome. Number 1, the first is consistency. Revenue administration loses credibility when outcomes depend on discretion rather than rules. The Nigerian Revenue Service must demonstrate that its processes are stable across sectors, regions, and categories of taxpayers. The second is visibility. A modern tax system cannot operate as a closed structure. Data, processes, and decisions must be intelligible, not only to government, but to those who are subject to it. This is central to compliance. The third is restraint. The authority to collect revenue must be exercised with discipline. Overreach may produce immediate gains, but it weakens trust and compliance over time. These are not operational preferences, they are institutional requirements. From a legislative perspective, Your Excellency, our role does not end up with the passage of laws. It extends to observing how those laws function in practice. The House will continue to engage the NRS through oversight, ensuring that the intent of reform is preserved in implementation. We are also conscious that the effectiveness of the service will depend on its interaction with broader economic systems. The integration of technology, the expansion of the tax base, and coordination across agencies will require continued legislative attention and support. Let me conclude with a simple observation. A revenue system is ultimately a relationship between the state and its citizens. It reflects what is demanded, how it is enforced, and what is delivered in return. This headquarters, in its permanence, suggests a system that intends to endure. Endurance, however, will depend less on the structure we commission today and more on the discipline that guides its operation. On behalf of the House of Representatives, Your Excellency, I congratulate you. I congratulate the Nigerian Revenue Service. I congratulate all Nigerians, and I assure you of our continued engagement at this institution, as this institution takes on its expanded responsibilities. May God bless you, Your Excellency. May God bless the new Nigerian Revenue Service. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, GCON, the Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, for your goodwill message today. But we are indeed confident that the discipline that led us to this commissioning will definitely take us even further as we look forward to what truly will be a beautiful future for not just the NRS, but indeed Nigerians and the entire Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much. We're now preparing to take the final goodwill message today. After that, we will take the keynote speech from our Chair of Honor. To deliver the final goodwill message today, I am truly delighted and I have the distinct honor of inviting on stage the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please join me as I make welcome on stage Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON. A round of applause for him, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Right Honorable Speaker, my brother Tajuddin Abbas. Permit me to recognize the Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum and the Chairman of the APC Governors Forum, all our governors, particularly Mr. Solution and former CBN governor, the governor of Anambra State, who must be very happy with what is seen here today, because in his time, they were not able to do it. Distinguished, my colleagues, distinguished senators and members of the National Assembly, the honorable ministers. Well, let me first recognize my deputy, Bala Jibrin, and the deputy speaker, Ben Kalu, and of course, Secretary to Government and the Chief of Staff, and the honorable ministers, particularly the Minister of Finance and the Minister of State Finance. Then the poster boy of our administration, Dr. Zach Adedeji. And his team. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, you know I'm not used to written speeches. So as soon as I opened the paper, I saw that the speech was missing. So I said, thank God that I can say my mind. This is wonderful in the sight of God. And this is wonderful in the sight of man. And of course, they say, whatever is done on earth is also done in heaven. So I'm very sure that this edifice is also being celebrated by angels in heaven. Your Excellency the President, when you were coming into office, through the primaries at the convention, I made a statement that we're not just going to elect a candidate, we're going to elect a candidate who had both sight and vision. Sight and vision. And that sight and that vision enable him to change the revenue service in Lagos State from a paltry 3-4 billion a month to what we are having today, over 69 billion. And of course, that you will do the same for Nigeria if elected. Thank God Nigerians believe, because like the chairman, the executive chairman said, he believes in data. The data in Lagos cannot lie. And so Nigerians believe me, and believe you, and believe all of us, and you are elected. To God be the glory. Today, Mr. President, you have sent me to go and commission many projects in states of the Federation. And one of the ones that we first commissioned was the lithium factory in Nasarawa State. That had always been there, and the governor has assured me that he has even completed a much bigger lithium factory, employing thousands of people, which awaits your commissioning anytime from now. The same thing is happening in many subnationals, partnering with the private sector to turn things around. And people have seen those things happening in states. And they have heard the governors consistently praise you that you do not only believe in democracy, that you believe in true federalism. True federalism. That every money that comes into the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation as enshrined in our Constitution, that you ensure that it is shared to all strata and all sectors of the government in line with the laws prescribed by the National Assembly. And because of that, many states today are not taking loans to pay salaries. They are not taking loans to do projects. I think I'm speaking the minds of the governors, not just of the progressive governors. And so this came as a result of the fact that you do not only possess sight, you also possess vision. I used to pass this place, and I saw the dilapidated structure here. I never knew that it was going to be the structure of NRS. And there are so many others across the country. And we don't know what the structures were meant for until you brought your fiscal engineer, Dr. Zach, and then working with you. Look at what we have here today. I just want Nigerians to use this as a test case of what you have been doing and what you can do for the future. Mr. President, there are countries where you have presidents for only 2 years, and all you hear is bomb blast everywhere. And the presidents are only 2 years old in office. In your own case, in less than 2-3 years, all we get is commissioning of projects and projects and projects and projects. That shows the other person has the vision of the gun and the bullet. And you have the vision of what? Infrastructure and building a decade for our children in future. For this, I want to say you deserve a round of applause. Now, why am I saying this? I felt so touched. I shouldn't have spoken at all when the executive chairman finished his speech. He encapsulated and embedded everything in my heart. He was able to capture the essence of governance. He was able to justify the confidence that Nigerians repose in you and continue to repose in you. He was even able to capture the fact that Nigerians cannot do without you in 2027. And without saying a word, the executive chairman of NRS was able to say why there is total confusion in all other political parties across the country. And they will come to blame you. If you were not that good, if your vision was not very clear, from day one you said tax, fuel subsidy is gone on your first swearing in, and people carried their hands on their heads. I said, does this man know what he's talking? Entrenched corruption, that Nigeria was spending almost 90% to 93% of every revenue in fuel subsidy. You can't build something on nothing and expect it to stand. There was no money for infrastructure. Nigeria will go and budget 80 to 85% on debt servicing, remaining only 15%, and they expect miracle that government should come and build things like this. You have changed all that. So I sitting down there as Senate President and Chairman of the National Assembly, I cannot be more proud that yes, we contributed to what we are seeing here today. You are seeing insecurity today. It's even increasing because the election is coming. As soon as the election is over, watch out. The first 2 weeks, you will not hear any single bomb blast. Because people are sponsoring it to distract you. They don't know what else to do. They say this man is too good in many areas. If the governors are attracted to him because he's taking very good care of the states. He came in with less than 18 governors. Today he has almost 32 governors under his fold, out of 36. So where do we belong? How do you win election when you don't have the structure? No political party today is stable in this country. Then they changed and said, okay, let us attack the people going to do the election. And they brought out a tweet where they said, the chairman of INEC said, victory is sure. But he didn't say victory is sure for APC. He did not say victory is sure for PDP. He just said victory is sure. And the man said that it's manipulated. Nobody wants to hear. But for me, whether manipulated or not, he said victory is sure. He was not chairman of INEC. He was just a mere lecturer. Anybody can support anybody who wishes to. But when you are on a seat, you have to think of all the entire country and all the populace. And that's what you are doing. I want to just let you know, that is not only in the area of revenue and taxation that you are doing well. The infrastructure in the FCT is not handled by APC. It is handled by the national chairman of a fraction, As a resident of the FCT, Mr. President, I've been here for a long time, at least in the last 24 years. This is all I do. I was called to the podium, while some people were called to the altar. So I have witnessed the Federal Capital Territory change under your administration and under 3 years. Nobody is attacking that. No single administration in Nigeria since 1999 that occupied Aso Rock had won election in local government in the FCT. It is only you. And this time around, when we did the election in the FCT, because of what is happening in the rural areas of the FCT and the FCT itself, when I leave your lodge and I'm going towards Asokoro, I miss my way. But those things were there. But administration after administration ignored those structures, dilapidated as they were. There was this overhead bridge that I did not know existed until you came on board. And you didn't bring somebody from APC. You brought somebody from the other party so that nobody will say that you're not carrying the country along. And by the time he finished, I'll drive to my house. I'll be shouting on my driver. I said, we are going to Asokoro. Why are you taking me through this overhead bridge? And he said, Asiwaju has changed the FCT. I said, how did he do it? He said, he did it through the other party. So let me specially recognize you as the national chairman, national leader of our party, the APC, that is doing so well in Nigeria today, despite the gang up by people who want to bring insecurity. And people, imagine what people are looking for. We have serious problems. People are dying in Jos and many places. Nobody's talking about those things. But you see people, 6, 7 people will sit on television and they are talking about a tweet. That the tweet says, victory is sure, and therefore somebody should resign. Resign because you said victory is sure. Was somebody not going to win an election? He did not mention a name. He didn't mention the party, nothing. And the man said, I'm not even the one. They have cloned my line. They have opened Snapchat for me. And there's nothing they have not done on Facebook. I have over 20-something Facebook accounts. And I'm not the one. But they are loading what they want to load. And yet they said, resign. Why are they now going into something so insignificant, very close to primaries, 1 month to primaries? It's because they realize that they've not been able to put their houses in order. Somebody will go and get up to 6 million votes in an election through a political party and yet abandon that political party and abandon the 6 million votes and start shopping for a new political party that he will have to go and start building up. I'm not talking about Soludo. I'm talking about somebody around his area. So, Mr. President, I want to assure you, and some people say that even now, that some embassies are closing down. Not many embassies are closing down. Many of the embassies are afraid of repercussion from their foes. For instance, I can say that America is a bit worried about the bomb blast from Iran. And so across the world, they have to reduce their staff in case Iran decides to attack their embassies. When people are thinking, oh, Nigerians, embassies are closing because election is coming. It's not because election is coming. Election will come and go. And God will protect you. God will protect Nigeria. Nigeria will outlive this election. Look at what they are doing now. Is this going to be taken away when you go back to Babylon? It's going to remain here for the benefit of future generations of Nigerians. So I'm very proud of what I'm seeing here. And because of lack of time, because of lack of time, I will only say that when we started the tax reforms, even a lot of our colleagues here, I don't want to look at a direction of any governor so that it would look as if the governors were not very sure. But many people were worried. Where were you going? But today we have seen the results. The data that has been read out here shows clearly that the reform is working. Nigeria today is able, even with the closure of the Hormuz Strait that would have brought fuel to Nigeria, Nigeria is still having fuel. Nobody has noticed that since you came on board, we have not had 2, 3 to 5 kilometers of fuel line, of vehicles lining up to buy petrol. Nobody has noticed that. There was a time that people were prepared to pay even 10,000 per liter for fuel, but they could not see the fuel. But today, there is no single fuel line in Nigeria. Nobody is saying that. Because you encourage and partner with the private sector. For the first time, we are now producing what we consume and consuming what we produce. We even go to the extent of sending it to other countries. These are reforms that are working. Let Nigerians be patient with you so that you can, and you have a knack for picking good people, picking people with brains, and where you don't think you are knowledgeable enough because you are a tax man yourself, you go and pick from the other side and tap their brains. And so, finally, let me say, Mr. President, that sitting there, I was a bit worried. It is we politicians that people used to clap for. I've never heard, even in my Bible, where people love tax collectors. So Zach is the first tax collector that has received the highest ovation. So, Dr. Zach Adedeji, congratulations with your team. I've never seen where they love tax collectors, but see the way they showed love to you. I think this is wonderful. On behalf of the National Assembly, I'm the Senate President and Chairman. Working with my brother and our colleagues, we are very proud of what we are seeing here. We will continue to do our oversight function to make sure that you improve on what you are doing. So I will say that sitting here, we have opened the building to mark a moment in the steady march of our nation towards strength, stability, and self-reliance. I don't intend to make a speech. Imagine this edifice rising in the heart of our capital, Abuja, which will live forever. And other ones that we are going to put into use. More than concrete and steel. A total declaration that Nigeria is determined to build its future on discipline, accountability, and on the honest mobilization of its own resources. No nation can endure if it depends only on what is given to it. But a nation that harnesses what it earns, manages it wisely, and deploys it faithfully, and at the same time, that nation builds not only prosperity, but also builds dignity, which is what you exemplify. This headquarters of the NRS, therefore, for me, is a major symbol of a new resolve that our revenue system is now modernized, transparent, and equal to the demands of the global community and our future. The National Assembly must continue to stand firmly behind this president and behind this administration and behind your reforms to strengthen fiscal responsibility and ensure that the wealth of this nation works for all the citizens of this country. Institutions like this show character that gives life to structures, shows integrity that gives meaning to authority, and of course, service that gives purpose to power. So let this place not be just a center of administration, of tax administration, but let it be a sanctuary of responsibility, where every action taken here strengthens the trust between the government and the governed. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us celebrate. There is cause for celebration. And I affirm that yes, indeed, Nigeria is rising. It's a pledge today that Nigeria will rise by its own effort, not through the effort of foreigners. Nigeria will be sustained by our own discipline and not through those who will dictate to us. Let's strengthen our resolve, not to wait for pittance from outside, but what we can do on our own. And when the years have passed and the baton is handed from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the next administration, May God guide that administration not to run the country down. Let us not say that you came to open a door that will work only during your administration. But you have opened a chapter that will bring total responsibility to the life of our nation. I get worried when I read that you met numerous debts, including ways and means, of over 33 trillion. Instead of using the money you make on a monthly basis to develop the nation, you are paying ways and means and other debts left behind by generations that Zach was not born. But you have paid well over 26 trillion. And what is left may finish before the first tenure of your administration. Because we believe strongly in the future of Nigeria, we cannot be overburdened by past mistakes and inefficiencies. So we honor you. We honor the chairman of the executive chairman of NRS. We honor all Nigerians with this headquarters today. And we are saying, yes, indeed, Nigeria is set for the purpose of serving Nigerians. In the interest of our people, we stand. In trust for generations to come, we stand. In love, we say, may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we again celebrate the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Senate President, I would like to respectfully crave your indulgence to please return to the stage as you officially invite our Chair of Honor, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, on the stage.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very great honor and privilege for me because the contractor that finished this building actually worked with me when I was the governor, Mr. President. And one of the routes that they did for me was the dualization of Aka-Nodo Road that went to my predecessor's hometown. And that road, 15 years after, there is no single pothole. So I can attest to their quality of work. So that's why they said I should call you and assure you that yes, indeed, this will not only outlive you, but will live for decades to come. So please join me to welcome a man of vision, a man who has both sight and vision, a man who is determined to change the future of our country, a man who is a great reformer, a courageous leader, a bold leader that others may not agree. A man who is being blamed for every pregnancy in Nigeria. A man who is being blamed for anything that happens to any political party in Nigeria. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I thank you. You are already here, Mr. President.
Please be seated. Thank you very much. Thank you. I know you've been here for quite a while and you've enjoyed the best part of the day. Senate President, thank you. I will send you to the other side. To represent me. And that you can scatter them anyway you want. They are confused. The Speaker, House of Representatives, the Deputy Senate President, the Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, all our governors here present. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, you've impressed me so much with your show of unity and solidarity. Each place we go around the country, the way you all show up and work together. Then I must say thank you. But what's left is where's the grass more. All the members of the National Assembly, they are present. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, members of the Federal Executive Council, particularly Taiwo Oyedele, the Minister of State Finance, the way you've dissected the colonial era taxes and tax laws written in shillings and pence and brought it back home to manageable and readable and understandable level. It's exceptional. I hope you will continue with them. The executive chairman of the Nigerian Revenue Service, Zacchaeus. Thank you, Mrs. Adedeji, for making the home front a peaceful and joyful one for us to enjoy the brilliance of your husband. I hope he's not collecting taxes at home. All the government officials, first of all, let me say congratulations on today's epoch-making and the fact that the data you demonstrated, it showed that Nigeria is working. And you work so hard, I did it. I call you Sak Agbowokwa in the Bible. But yours is an exceptional, great achievement for this administration. Thank you for being the word of God. It will be very short, because I know you guys are ready for lunch. On my inauguration day, I made a solemn pledge that we will move Nigeria from the dimness of uncertainty into the clear light of renewed hope. I committed that we will confront structural weaknesses, restore fairness, and build an economy anchored on discipline, equity, and opportunity. Today I stand before you to reaffirm that these words were not rhetoric, they were a covenant with the Nigerian people. We are not gathered here merely to commissioning a building. We are here to mark a milestone in a larger national journey, the deliberate strengthening of our physical foundation and rebuilding of confidence in public institutions. No serious nation can achieve lasting prosperity on a weak and fragmented revenue system. No government can demand trust from its citizens when taxation is opaque, inefficient, or unjust. That is why this administration took the bold decision to embark on far-reaching tax and fiscal reforms. Reforms designed to simplify our system, eliminate distortions, and create a fair, transparent, and investment-friendly environment. Our direction is clear. A revenue system that rewards enterprise, supports growth, and ensures that every contribution to the national purse is matched by feasible value for the people. The early results are encouraging. Fantastic. Mr. Adedeji, thank you very much. We are witnessing improved physical stability, stronger foreign reserves, a more efficient trade ecosystem, and increased investor confidence in Nigerian economy direction. These gains are not incidental. They are the product of deliberate policy, sustained effort, and a commitment to doing what is right for the long-term prosperity of our nation. It is within this context that we commissioned this headquarters of Nigerian Revenue Service. The building is more than concrete and steel. It is a symbol of a new standard of professionalism, transparency, efficiency, and service. It reflects our resolve that institutions must rise to meet the demand of reforms and the expectation of the Nigerian people. We must thank the Nigerian people for enduring and persevering, for their resilience to date. And to the Nigerian Revenue Service, we must embody this new ethos. It must not only collect revenue, it must build trust. It must ensure fairness. It must demonstrate that government can be accountable, efficient, responsive. It must become a model institution that earns confidence at home and respect abroad. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this project has endured through different phases of our national journey. Let the future be better than the past. Let hold that promise sincerely to the future. Let those who will come after us, politics apart, be ready to build on history that is greater than the vision of their forebearers. The completion of this building at this moment is not by chance. It is a statement that Nigeria is no longer content with promises. We are delivering progress. History will not judge us by what we say, but by what we build, by the institutions we strengthen, and the discipline we sustain. The work of national renewal demands consistency, courage, and collective resolve. Nigeria's future will not be determined by chance. It will be determined by the choices we all made together. We have chosen reform. We have chosen discipline. We have chosen progress. We have chosen development, prosperity, and inclusiveness. And we will stay this course, steadfast and focused, until the promise of Nigeria is matched by the performance of its institution and the prosperity of its people. To the glory of God Almighty, and to the benefit of Nigeria at home and abroad, I hereby declare this building open. Thank you. May God bless Nigeria. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the tax collectors.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us celebrate the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. While we all remain standing, we will now take the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which symbolizes the close of this event.
Nigerians all am proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Can we give a round of applause as we allow for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to exit this auditorium. Let's celebrate our President, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. President, for gracing this occasion, and of course for your kind words, your well wishes, and your commitment to all Nigerians. Thank you.
Yeah, either one, either one. Either one. Yeah, it's out. Mama mio. Shower. Bye.
Watch this thing go fall. The food go fall. Will I, if I disconnect it, let's do. I think yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.